What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? Positive vibes. Maybe you see the sleeve, baby. You see the PVM on the sleeve, baby. T-shirt mercenary. It's a beautiful day. How y'all doing? How y'all living? Jeide A-Track. One half of the front of the motherfucking Flyers talk show on IG, on any platform, anywhere. I don't care. I put money on it. Let's get things rocking. You know what I'm saying? How y'all living? How y'all doing? As far as me, it's been a beautiful day. Kind of got busy at work, you know what I'm saying? Came back, had some energy. Thought I had enough energy for me to read the book I'm currently reading, The Richest Man in Babylon. Shout out to everybody who's reading their shit, getting on their financial literacy and shit like that. Thought I had enough energy for me to read that and continue going. I'm knocked out. I had drool all on the side of my face like this. You know what I'm saying? After I was done reading that book. Woke up with enough time for me to eat some food, to eat some din. Shout out to my brother 8036, aka Neat Scotch, aka Scott. You know what I'm saying? But it's been a beautiful day, man. How y'all doing? How y'all living? Betty Boo, what's going on? Love that African butterfly. What's going on? Yes. See, we already got the ingredients for a beautiful talk tonight. That's also going to be featuring these ladies, Betty Boop Jum and that African butterfly. Tonight, we will be talking about the friendship breakup. And Dash is in the building as well. So I'm just going to put the title down first. Pin it up for everybody who's going to be hopping up in this joint so they know what we're talking about. You know? Send a few invitations, you know what I'm saying? Your usual suspects and contributors, if you will, the contributors, before we get things rocking and moving and grooving and shaking, you dig? So, I feel like that's enough. We'll send it to a few people in there and whatnot. Y'all, much love for everybody who's been supporting us, everybody who's been following us, joining us in these lives, having these conversations with us, for y'all input, for y'all insight, for y'all perspective. Once again, T-shirt mercenary, official sponsor for PVM, Reach out, man. The merchandise is available. You know what I mean? For everybody who has their orders already put in, we will reach out to you. We will have your product ready. Y'all will be able to be your flyest, the most classiest and sophisticated of wares. You know what I'm saying? But let's bring Dash up in here, and in doing so, the ladies who will be joining us for tonight's conversation.
Oh.
That African butterfly, what's going on with you, love?
How's it going?
It's all gravy. Betty Boo, what's going on with you, love?
Not much. What's up?
Nigga, I'm chilling. I'm gravy. Dash, how you living?
Dash. Volume.
I don't know.
We can't hear you.
Yeah, we can't hear you, bruh.
No. All lip service. No voice.
Until Dash gets back up in the room and gets his sonics in order or whatnot, how are you? How was y'all day?
Today was okay. Speaking of friends and stuff like that, I wasn't able to go to, I don't know what the Muslims call their funerals, but I wasn't able to go because I found out literally today, and so I had the time to go back, like go there real quick and come back to work or nothing. So, but other than that, I'm doing good. Sending my condolences to Eunice Ali's family and friends and things like that. I don't know if they not in this live, but just put it out there.
Still. Yeah, we send our condolences to PVM, you know what I mean? I'm not too sure if I know is Eunice is this a gentleman or?
Yeah, it's a guy.
Okay.
Eunice Ali, yes. It was a guy, yeah.
Right on, right on. Well, we sending our love and we're sending our condolences to the family of Ali and to friends as well. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Um,
And my day was kind of rough, but I'm powering through.
I dig it. I dig it.
I
I
love
hope
friends.
in the terms of, you know what I mean, something that back at, you know what I mean, you had to put the other person on and be like, you know what I'm saying, I'm about to
I wish that was the case.
Can you guys hear me now? Okay.
dig it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
My
welcome back, Dan.
condolences too.
sir.
For sure. For sure, for sure.
For sure. In fact, you know what I mean, not for nothing, but this talk is also going to be in reverence to the homie as well. You know what I mean? We gonna pay our respects properly. You know what I'm saying? But Dash, man, how are you
Today's
living, man?
actually
How
been
was
a
your day?
smooth day. Like I don't know. I've been lifted, you know, like lightly, you know, like it's been feeling light today, you know, like the load is off. I was rocking out to some Kanye earlier too. So like I was in my bag. I don't know, today has been good. You know, I got my car washed, you know, it's like 70 plus degrees. You know, life is good. Like, I mean, I can't complain right now, you know? You know what I'm saying? Oh, this was
Which
Donda.
Kanye?
This was
Which
Donda. I was
Kanye?
rocking the Donda album. You know, like Praise God was on heavy repeat, Off the Grid, of course, you know, Jail, you know. Jail tonight, right? Like, yo,
Jail tonight.
my man Hov ripped that verse, like, you know, like sometimes I gotta run it back just for home. Like, we ain't red capping, we're going back home, yay. Like, I'm like, I'm talking to him, Jay. Like, come on now. Give him that big brother advice. Like, but yeah, I've been in my bag today. You know, today's been a good day. You know.
Right.
Word.
Well, despite everybody's respective paths, I'm glad that everybody is here in assembly and in good graces for us to be able to enjoy each other and have this. So I appreciate all y'all first and foremost. Much to y'all.
Appreciate you too, man.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks
Thanks for
having
having us.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. Word up. So this conversation took place in part or was motivated. I was on the job and I was spotting for forklifts and whatnot, and Dash hit me up on a DM and he was just like, yo, check this article out. And article about Lisa Ray talking about friendships and equating friendships to romances and how it's important for us to have ended because they are indeed. I mean, they are instances in which we are loving some we are or someone's. You know what I mean? And it's not just because it's not as intimate, I guess you can say, as our romantic endeavors or our romantic not mean that it is without romance. And I found it truly provoking in terms of something for us to talk about. I was completely down with it. I was like, Dash, listen, Dash, first of all, you know what I mean? Brought this about as far as a necessary topic for
I'm sorry, I barely heard it.
well, the article you sent about Issa Rae, pardon me, what or you know what I'm saying, or made you want to talk about it today?
Oh,
You know
you
what I'm
know what?
saying,
I
with
always
these
like
young
the
ladies
ladies'
here.
perspective on different topics, you know. And this was one topic where I felt like it'd be perfect because it's not a gender specific topic. Like it's fluid, you know. Like it's friendship, you know. It could be male, female. It could be female, female, male, male. You know, like it just really depends on the dynamic, you know. So like, and then we all come from 4 different spaces too. So you know, like it just made sense. No. But I really want to talk about the topic because I don't think we ever broached it on PVM before, and it's something like that's like really big amongst our age group specifically. Like, and I know, like for me personally, it's something I've been bad on. Like, as I've gotten older, you know, like my friend circle has gotten a lot smaller. You know, like sometimes due to my work schedule, sometimes due to theirs, sometimes due to life, you know, and you just, I'm one place, you're another place, you know, and our paths just don't intertwine as much as they used to. And then, you know, we become strangers, you know, like, and sometimes you can have a friend that you're real close to, and y'all can just part ways, you know, like maybe on bad terms, you know, and it might be best for you guys to part. And, or sometimes you might just have to part ways, you know, just because that's where life is taking y'all. Like, so I'm open the floor to y'all, and I want y'all's perspectives.
Right. Right. I feel like we understand. I really understand the aspect of, you know, if it goes sour in terms of somebody doing us wrong, or in terms of maybe, you know, we not necessarily pulling our own weight in certain situations, which would do for the friendship to end. But, you know, I do want to engage a bit upon the aspects of a friendship that just deviates based upon just natural growth and just natural development. You know what I mean? It's no bad blood, it's no nothing. It's just, I'm doing this, you're doing this, and right now it
No,
doesn't make sense
that's
for us to
life.
be in the
Yeah.
same boat. So Neymade,
So you're asking my thoughts on it. So the thing, it's interesting because people will say like, oh, friendships is not as like deep as relationships, but it still hurts. But I feel like a lot of times your friends are in your life, like until you find the person you settle down with, your friends are in your life longer. You tell them much more a lot of times than you tell your significant other until that other person sort of takes over that role. So I think it makes total sense to like feel heartache, feel sad, feel all those things at the breakup or the loss of a friendship. Because like I'm one of those people, like once we're like friends, not acquaintances, but like friends. Like I love my friends. So I've had times where it's been both cases where it was a decision I made to end it because of just whatever was going on in that person's life or what was going on. And then I've also had the ones where you just naturally fall off. But like you said, that's life. And usually in those cases, as long as it's nothing like major, then it's kind of one of those like, we wish you well. If we see you again, great. If not, you know, it's harder though when that happens with someone who's a really close friend. Because usually with those really close friends, you can still kind of keep in touch. And you also usually have like different levels of communication with different friends. Like I have friends who I talk to frequently, and if I go a couple of days without speaking to them, I'm like, oh, something's up. And then I have another friend who we talk for like 3 hours every couple of years, you know, and that works wonderfully for our friendship. So it really just depends.
I did that. Betty Boop, how about you? How do you feel about
I don't know if it's my phone or what that keeps messing up. So can you repeat?
I seen the little ring too, so
That's why I was just like, oh,
Yeah.
I thought it was just on my screen when Jeide went to you.
you know. But so I was asking Betty Boop, as far
Yeah.
as friendships that just deviate
And I'm like,
and go. Sorry,
wait.
can you hear? Can you hear us?
The circle's back.
Hey, the grand circle. Hey, miss, listen, man.
Yeah,
Steve Jobs,
so
stop
it's
playing
like,
with us, man.
I feel like we're on an
Can you hear
AT&T
us now?
commercial.
is it my phone?
Can you
Yeah,
hear me?
is it my
Can you hear me now?
It might be my
Can you hear me?
I've been
Can you hear
messing
me
up
now?
all day. And I really do have, right. And I really do have like a light on, but it's not showing in this camera. It's like dark as hell. Like I feel like I got an Android, so I need to upgrade my phone anyway. I don't know. But anyway.
We can see you.
Yeah, we
Oh,
Yeah, I can see
okay.
you too.
I can see you.
All right.
right
Yeah,
on.
okay. So as far as friendships that like deviate over time,
Yeah, and there's no bad blood. It's just, you know, it is what it is. How do you feel about that?
it happens, man. People grow apart, I know people be hating on Medea, but you know, Medea had a great point. It was like some people are for a season, some people are leaves. You know what I mean? They were just here for a season, they gone. Some people were branches where you thought, you know, they was down for the long haul, and but they actually helped the tree, whatever. But sometimes, you know, branches break, and then it was like sometimes then you have like your root. You know what I'm saying? So it depends. You know, like I mean, dealing with especially moving to Philly from the DMV, you know what I'm saying? Like, and like growing up, you know, all your friends from the neighborhood, whatever, everybody move out the neighborhood, everybody have lives, things like that. You know what I'm saying? You fall apart from them. And then I moved from another state, and then I go to college. And even though I kept in contact with a lot of people from college, I guess whoever really like stayed in Philly or whatever, but for the most part, like a lot of people that I was like real close with in college, like I we could barely like speak on social media, yet alone like anything else. Like so many homegirls that I was like hanging days at a time, every day, hanging out, meeting fam, all this stuff in college. Like they had weddings and baby showers and kids without me, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I mean, to me, I think that's why I kind of stay on social media sometimes, because like I can catch up with people, you know what I'm saying, without like I don't want to say an actual effort, but it's like, you know, some people, especially like distant relatives and things like that, like you're not going to see them in person until like a funeral or a wedding or something major happen. That's going to be years apart versus like cousins that I probably want to see for years. Like I get to see their kids grow up, you know what I'm saying? And so it's kind of like that with friends too. But sometimes, you know, it's certain people you miss, you know what I'm saying? Like there's certain people that I wish we would have remained cool, or I wish I could have, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it's what it is. You know, they could have reached out too. You could have reached out, you know what I'm saying? But you don't. You don't want to be honest, you know what I'm saying? So like, you know, I think that's better than, you know, having fallen outs or having beefs with people. You know what I'm saying? Like if it just grows apart naturally, it was no hard feelings. Like African butterfly was saying, like, man, you know, just wish you well, you know. But
That's for real. There's a couple of comments that I want to get to add to this conversation right now. Pretty Rude said, differences in intentions break up friendships often. That's true. That's extremely true. And Mused V said, two cars can follow each other, but they can't ride in the same lane. Now, to the groove of what both of these young ladies are saying, as well as what we're talking about, you know, I just watched the new
Don't ruin it for me.
Spider-Man movie not
Still
too
haven't
long
seen it.
ago, right?
Yeah.
And I haven't seen it yet either.
Okay, I'm gonna spoil it then, but I have to use a bit of the premise because it connects very largely to what we're
Try
talking
lightly.
about. But I won't spoil it. I won't spoil it. What I'll say, or what I'll ask the room is this: if there was an instance in which you were given the choice to help benefit your, but in doing you would benefit your friends exponentially. You would benefit your friends. And you know what I mean? Like, think about whoever your loved ones are that you know already in your heart that you would give your all for. Oh no, she'll be back. We got her. It's all love. But your loved ones that you would give your all for, the ones that you would sacrifice for, the ones that are in your heart, would you give an opportunity for your friends to thrive? But at the same time, the payment for that would be you would have to no longer be in
Wait,
their
so they would
lives.
thrive and I would no longer be in their life? What?
Yes. If you were given the opportunity.
I mean, how are you thriving if I'm not in your life? So I don't understand.
I mean, that's that's one way to look at it, you know, like yeah.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair. Let's do it. Let's do it like
No, but like for real, to answer your question, I think that like I would. I mean, I want to be a part of their life, but ultimately, I want the best for anyone who I care about. So if that means they can't associate with me, but they're going to do wonderful things, then, you know, I'd have to say
I
goodbye.
concur.
Mm, mm. Betty Boop, how about you?
It is what it is. You know, if that's how they feel, that's how they feel. I mean, I guess, you know, you wish it wasn't that way, but maybe they have a reason why they feel that way. You know what I'm saying? You could disagree, or you could not, you know, feel like it is what they feel. But if that's how they feel, I don't want to force nobody around. You know, if you don't feel like I'm an asset to you, then why waste time?
Oh wait, so
I
they
dig
was
it.
forcing their
I
they
dig.
was forcing their
Oh,
exit from you? I thought it was like we didn't have a say. Oh,
No, 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 no. I'm not saying that. It, you know, you were saying because, like, I guess what, like lifestyles or whatever, or they say, you know, they can't
yeah, I was
fuck
about to
with
say
you
because
like
I
that.
would feel some type of way if my
That's what
friend
I'm
told
getting,
me
right?
they couldn't fuck with me.
You know, my phone was messing. We
oh
go
no, it's all.
live, and as soon
But
as I get
sometimes you can't, though. That's
on
a
live,
good.
my
Well, actually, I'll let Jeide ask this question and then.
phone stopped messing.
Right on.
But
No,
yeah,
no, that was my might have been. The ring, go away, ring, go away, go away.
Wait,
No,
I still hear Betty.
but get her.
now mind you, when I be
All right, so Betty,
I go,
it
yeah,
might have been like the reception or whatnot, but the question was, you know, if you had an opportunity for you to bless your friends with the opportunity they've wanted for a lifetime in order for them to thrive, but the consequence of that decision would be that you would no longer be an active member in their life, would you do so?
Yeah,
yeah,
I think everybody
yeah,
would. Like, who wouldn't? I think it's
yeah,
selfish not to. Now, if you told me as my friend you had to
yeah.
separate from me to feel like you had success, but this was just your assumption, like I would feel some type of way. Now we got an issue. Like,
I mean, but how would you know? That's the thing. How would you know that it's an assumption or anything? Because you're on the receiving end. You don't really know what this person that your friend is had to do to seal the deal
well,
for this
if they told
opportunity.
me,
You know what I mean? What?
But I,
Yeah,
I mean, not just that though. Like with life and with growth, sometimes you outgrow your friend circle, and it's a harsh thing to say. But if you're a person with like goals and you're trying to go somewhere, and not that there's anything wrong with just being content with life, so I don't feel like everyone always has to be like goals, goals, goals. It's cool to be content, but if you are someone who's trying to get places and your crowd isn't part of that circle, sometimes you have to move on, and sometimes your friends are still supportive, they still got you, and then sometimes they're not, because either A, they don't have the capacity to think the way you're thinking and move the way you're moving, or sometimes they're resentful of the fact that you guys started in the same spot and now you're going somewhere, and to them it's a reflection of what they're not able to do that they may want to do. So sometimes like you do have to be like, I gotta cut you out as a friend. It
yeah.
stinks, but
I mean,
or you can ghost
I
them.
wouldn't
There's
ghost
that.
them, but I
No,
mean, for
no.
me, I don't think I ever had a conversation with a friend where I've been like, yo, I gotta separate myself from you. I think it's always kind of happened like organically, like I just naturally moved in my direction
Yeah.
and they continued in their direction, and our paths just kind of separated at that.
What if you had a friend right now and you're like, I can tell based on the direction my life is going, like a close friend, like this isn't going to work. Like they're not supportive or they bring bad atmosphere or
Oh,
whatever.
okay. So yeah,
How would you deal with
if
that?
that's the instance, and you know for a fact that the energy is bringing like your whole aura down, like you gotta cut them off. Like, but for I well, how did I do that? For me, damn it, yeah, it kind of was a conversation, but it was more of an argument
You
though
ghosted
than a
them.
conversation, and it really wasn't even an argument because it was just more of a passive. I did it real passively, you know, like I just I don't want to really give too many details of the situation, but the friend had an idea of how an event was going to play out, and I kind of just did the opposite of what they expected me to do, you know, and I knew that was going to get a certain reaction out of that person to be like, I want to distance myself from you, you know. So I kind of just knew their mindset and how, and I manipulated them. So yeah, you know, like I manipulated them into thinking that they broke up with me when it's like I really wanted to separate myself from them. So
Yeah.
Hmm. Interesting. That's interesting. We're not going to. We're not going to dive. I promise you, we're not going to dive there. So I'm gonna put it back on me. I ain't
I
gonna
was
dive.
about to say,
I
Jenny,
think
have you ever had to do a
I don't
friendship
really
breakup like
close.
that?
I had to, and I don't want to put, I mean, the negative connotation to it, because I have cut friendships off based upon bad energies or based upon what a person, I mean, did or didn't do, I mean. But I have recently actually experienced a breakup, if you will, that was based upon a young lady that I've known for years. For mad long. And I remember one time, like a few years ago, she called me and she actually checked me about it. She was just like, yo, I feel some type of way that I'm always the one calling you, but you don't call me. You know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. And it put me on guard. I was like, oh shit. Like, it actually put me on some shit where I had to like think about and reassess how I mean, how my dynamics are regarding my relationships, or regarding my friendships, I should say. And it was a nice, healthy conversation. And I let her know, I mean, like, yeah, you're completely well within your rights and feeling this way. And I do apologize. I'll work on it, but I myself to a degree. And when I get caught up inside the throes of life, I'm really just going to be into my own zone. It's going to be who happen to gravitate with me in that space. That, what I mean, if you there, you there. If you not, you not. And it's not to say that I'm going to ostracize people necessarily. I'm not the type to go out and ask or petition for support. You know what I'm saying? That's weird to me. I've done it before. It's not to say that I'm above it. It's to say that I've done it before, and the discipline that comes from it is hurtful. It's dumb hurtful. And I don't want to, I feel like it's selfish for me to put that expectation on people. So I'd rather just deal with the shit on, what I'm saying, to the most of by myself, or with the circle of that just so happened to be around me while I'm going through what I'm going through. And I remember telling her, and I was like, listen, I value your friendship. I really do, and I fuck with you, but I'm not begging for nobody to be my friend. So it comes down to you having to go your way. I
damn, Betty, that's
encourage
rude
that.
as shit.
Go your way. You know? And
Yeah, I was just gonna ask, not to cut off your story, but just to make sure I'm understanding it correctly. So she was talking to you, and she said that she found it hurtful or whatever that you didn't call her, and that she always reached out to you. And then your response is that you're not begging for friends. Or did I miss a piece?
okay.
Was that truly like the way it happened, or was there something in the middle that led you to respond with, I'm not begging for friends?
No. It wasn't even a way where, it was malicious. Like, it had, it was really,
Dash, stop laughing. I'm trying to listen.
My man said,
it was
Continue, Betty.
I'm sorry, but you got me dead, dog. Like, all right, my bad. I'm the governor, because you got me tripping. He said, his response was, look, I'm not begging for friends. You can go your way.
It's like,
And I go, like, damn, she just asked you to call her, Johnny.
all right. See, for real, that's how I think. Like, I think in such a way that I'm like, I account for the now, but I also account for like 12 possibilities into the future, because I don't see anything that it comes and sneaks up on you unwarranted. You know what I'm saying? Where we are now, I haven't reached out to her, especially because of my mom's passing. And with my passing, I wasn't in the space for me to be calling everybody I know, like, hey.
Yeah, of course.
I didn't have time for that. The people the people who were already in contact with me in such a way. And she's thriving right now with what she's doing with her business.
Yeah.
So just so
But
happens.
like in hindsight, do you wish you had responded differently?
I'm sorry?
In hindsight, do you wish you had responded differently?
No.
Okay.
No. The reason
Not even remorseful.
I know is because I have knowledge of self. I'm not here to gains. I'm not
Yeah.
here. I'm not here to sell pipe dreams. I know who I am. And you can ask this brother here in relation to who reaches out to who reaches out to who more often. If we
So is what you're saying that you are just not a person who communicate, like who reaches out to people, and people have to reach out to you, and when you say you have a sense of self, it's not so much that like you wouldn't want to adjust to what a friend needs, but you know yourself well enough to know that it's not going to happen, so you're not even going to try to pretend like it will. Is that what you mean?
circumstantially, if
Yeah.
it makes sense for a situation or a context in which for me to reach out would allow for me to reach out, I will. But
Mm-hmm.
because of a natural rhythm, because of certain aspects to how I've been raised, and because of where a certain piece of where I am now is, or how it feels, it's outside of my natural rhythm to call and to have conversation what based upon what we could talk about if we should naturally connect. And I say that to say this. There are friendships that I have that we've gone months or years in between, and
Mm-hmm.
then
Yeah.
do call, or when we do contact, it's like we just pick it right back up.
Yeah.
That's a part of my natural rhythm, because I know where I am when I'm focused on what I'm focused on.
Yeah.
And I that same respect to my friends as well, because we're all going through respective things. As far as my line is always open for any one of my friends to hit me up if they're going through anything. You know what I mean? Except with the exception of what I went through with my mom. With my mom, I'll put that all the way out.
Yeah, of course.
Extremely selfish. And there was a
Mm-hmm.
few I cut off just off of where I was on a selfish space, because I started to understand that I was giving more of myself than I was receiving in the way that I knew that I needed, as far as what sustained my spirit, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. I feel like your response initiates like sort of like a oh my gosh from us or a laughter from us, because we're so taught that we should like bend and mold ourselves to other people, right? Like, so if, like everything should be in give and take. So if someone says, hey, I'm your friend and I need you to call me more, we're sort of like expected to be like, oh, okay, let me see what
Not
I can do to
necessarily.
make this better for you. But I don't think there's anything wrong with being like, this is who I am, and I want to attract people who mesh with me instead of trying to change myself to mesh with you. And I think that we just don't do that enough. So when you encounter someone who does act like that, who's like, I'm trying to attract what works with me and what works with me without us having to change it, it just feels weird, because most of us, or those of us who are trying to have that mindset, are still working on it. And most people don't have that mindset or thought at all. They just have the
True.
let's
See,
make this
I
friendship
agree
work.
with bits and pieces of both of y'all. I don't think Jeide is necessarily wrong for having his mindset. I just think the approach was wrong. Like, as your friend, she should kind of know you enough to know that's not your habit. So, like, to kind of put that, on you, like, yo, you should kind of call me, that try to apply that pressure. That's doing more than a friend. Like I'm not required as a friend to call you. Like I don't sign a contract when I become your friend. Like I have to do X, Y, Z. If this isn't entitled for me, I won't do it. But as her friend, I think you should have showed a little more compassion in the situation. And been mindful of her feelings as well. Because as her friend, you also have to be mindful of who she is, or him. Whoever the person may be. But you get.
Right.
Oh no, go
You know
ahead.
what? Sorry, go ahead. I was just gonna say, I think that it's also why it's important to sort of like know what type of friends you are, right? Like everyone throws out the word friend just
Some
because
people are
it's the
associates.
easiest to like say this is my friend, that's my friend. But really, they're just acquaintances. Most people are just acquaintances. And for me, even within my friendship level, I have like my friends, and my friend. You know what I mean? Like they have different levels. And then within the friends, there's my friends I talk to about stuff. And there's my friends that I know are only down for a good time. There's a friend I know if I go to her, she will just want to talk all about herself. But I still get something out of the relationship because she's fun. But I know my lane in all the friendships. And I think sometimes the reason you have friendship breakups or different issues is that people are in different lanes. They think they're in one lane and you have them in another.
We got a lot of comments here, guys.
I do. Let me get to a few of these comments. So Von Brown said, I hate small talk. I may not talk to you for a while, but it doesn't mean we are not friends. I just don't have nothing to talk about. I'm in that space a good amount too. You know what I mean? I'm purposeful when I speak, you know what I mean? Like PVM, don't get me wrong, PVM, it allows a platform for us to be silly. It allows a platform for us to indulge in shenanigans, you know what I mean? But the basic mission statement for PVM is for us to be able to bring about conversation that initiates critical thought. You know what I mean? And for us to have fun while doing it, you know? So it's never going to be a time where I come up on here just freestyling, just for talking, because my brain is going to continue to fuck with me in a way where it's like, why the fuck are we here? What the fuck are we doing? You know what I mean? And then when I get to that place, I get real quiet and I just get into my like observing mode and shit. Like I get super cerebral because it's just like, yo, if I don't feel that I have a certain purpose within the space, I feel like there's time wasted. Not just my time, but I'm wasting y'all time too, because it's like y'all could be doing something productive. I don't need for us to be wasting time. If that's the case, then you know what I mean, the synergy that needs to be established could do without me. So Kia knows things, said people also don't want things to feel one-sided though. That's a fact too. And it like I tried to.
Oh, you ain't tell us that part,
I
Jeide.
did. I did.
Well, I mean, that's also the thing about the whole your vibe attracts your tribe. Like, if you're someone who needs to communicate all the time, don't try to be friends with someone you know doesn't like to talk a lot. You're setting yourself up. And sometimes you don't realize that until you start becoming friends. But that goes back to what Betty Boop was saying about the trees and the branch. Like, maybe you weren't meant to be a long-term friendship. Maybe you had that friendship for a little bit of time. It worked for both of you, and now it's time for you both to move on.
Like, sometimes you gotta be okay with letting go, you know. Yeah.
Let it go.
But see, that's the other thing about it too. The other thing about it, and I'm glad that I'm glad such a fruitful discourse about it, is because the other aspect of it is the grieving aspect. Right? Because you know, you can't just ignore it as if these connections didn't mean anything at all. There are say connections that I am still grieving on based upon, like, you know what I mean, just the situation that connected to my word in situations that I would be here or be there for that person because of this. And I know me, I'm a person of my word. So when it came to, I say that, you know, my mom's transition and shook my world, 80'd everything. It put me in a place where a lot of what my word was as a version of myself, as the current version of who I am. So, I mean, what's the shit called? Nukes hit, like the fallout. There it is. Fallout. It was unfair. This is just me speaking. The fallout was unfair for connection not survive. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of felt because as a and you know established a long period of time, these voices resonated and they same thing. It was like, yo, do what you do for however long you do it. You know what I'm saying? Like that resonated with me in such a way. Yo, I hope you understand what that means. In the back of my head, I never really like addressed it, but I'm like, I'm really semantic driven. I really am like word with words. So when somebody says certain things, I look for the depth within what you're talking. Understand what, because the extreme is you're cool with me being, and it's not to say that I'm using this as an opportunity for me to be gone, but I'm really in a chaotic space right now. I don't know how tomorrow is going to be. I don't know where I'm going to be as far as my feelings, as far as my thought process. I don't know. And if it ends up to be on this side of the extreme, you need to understand that these contractual terms that I'm abiding by based upon what we've mutually understood to be the next.
Vaughn says you're breaking up little by little.
Yeah, I hear it too. I mean, I can hear what you're saying. It's just breaking up.
Pardon me. I'm gonna get up a little close. Pardon me. Pardon me. But yeah, that's, you know what I mean. I'm still grieving connections because, you know, if my mom was still here, I would be honoring. And it's not just it's the circumstances of positioning that changed a lot of things. There's a situation where he did some snake shit during the funeral. There's a situation with my landlord put me in a real tight predicament that I had like less than a month after my mom's funeral to get up out of the city and shit like that. Like, it was a lot of shit going on. So I'm like it was the perfect storm for the change necessary for me to be in a different space. That's the best way to put it.
And sometimes it's like that. Sometimes the signs that you need, like we all want like good, happy signs, but sometimes they're bad signs. And sometimes it's that storm that you need to clear stuff away, to see what you need to see. So it's always rough when that happens, but as long as you learn from
Just embrace the
Mhm.
uncomfortable, you know.
Mhm.
Be comfortable with the uncomfortable. Change requires growth, so, you know, things have to change. Friendships have to grow, evolve,
Yeah.
separate. You have to be okay with that.
And it's just natural to miss
Yeah.
somebody that you've had in your life. Like if you're truly friends, whether it, like my one friend, I said we talk every couple of years for a few hours. But if I today thought I would never talk to her again, I'd be so sad, even though we're not due for a conversation for like 2 years. You know, like no matter what capacity you have them in, whether you talk to them all the time or rarely, like they still have a part of your life, and having that gone is going to impact your life.
Mhm.
So there's definitely going to be that grieving.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be
Yeah,
grieving.
definitely
Like,
will.
can't you just cherish the memories that y'all shared, even though y'all not sharing them no more? Because I don't look at it like downtown. Even with people I don't have the best of relationships with right now. Like, I don't look at the time we shared together as bad, even if it did end badly. Like, I still look at the positive in that relationship, and then I just take what I took from it.
But usually when you're grieving, you're thinking about the good times and you're sad about the good times being gone. It's not that you're doing it from a place of animosity. It's
Yeah.
just kind of like, damn, I miss having that person in my life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you for saying that, Neymade. I was about to actually say that grieving just, it encompasses more than the negatives. It encompasses the positive. It's just like a void, basically. It's like acknowledging the void in all that it encompasses. You know what I mean? The void of not having said person around, the void of what it means to honor your dynamic when it comes to said person and things of that nature. Memory, like you said, Dash, and a whole bunch of things. You know what I mean? Like, grieving is just being processed the fact that that person is no longer here and won't be here. You know what I mean? Or let me put it like this. Let me be fair, and won't be here in the same way that they were when they was. You know what I mean? One of my favorite quotes is, "A man does not cross the same river twice. Either he himself is changed or the river is changed."
I thought you were about to
Oh,
start
snap.
singing some Pocahontas.
Yeah, Jenny would have did that. I would turn this
Because
live
same
off.
lines.
I would be like, okay, guys.
I ain't see that movie in a long time. Nah, I wish I did. Shit, turn it off. Ah, yeah.
Oh, Lordy.
Oh, it looks like Betty Boop's having trouble getting back on.
It's all love, Betty. We gonna hold it down for you. You know what I mean? Whenever
You know.
you're back in, you know we got you. It's all love. So,
Have either of you? Oh, go ahead.
oh no,
No, I was gonna say, have either of you ever had a circumstance where like you had to break off a friendship, like for real, because you had problems with that, but that person wasn't getting the clue or was still trying to mend the friendship? And if so, did you eventually give
No.
in, or were you still like,
Yeah,
nah?
because
nah.
if you already got that itch to want to separate yourself from that person, that's what you're gonna do. Like, even if you temporarily give them a momentary pass and be like, all right, yeah, we might commend a friendship, eventually that initial thinking is gonna kick back in. You're gonna be like, nah, or whatever they did to get you to that point, they're gonna continue to do. You know, like, huh?
You're a good guy, Dash.
Oh, I
You got.
know. You know,
You're a good.
you know.
Bet. I say the word like, and this is why I say that. Why I say that. I've inherited my mom. I tolerate until I can't tolerate no more. I'm a person that documents things as they move because in patterns, I pick up patterns extremely well. So if it gets to the point that I cut you off because of some infraction, know that it wasn't because of that one infraction.
That's how I am.
It's because I've been sitting down for years watching things happen in such a way where I'm
Wait,
picking
do
up a
you
pattern.
guys ever
You know what I'm
address the
saying?
pattern before cutting the friendship off? Damn,
Don't need.
I usually
like, you
do.
don't
Well,
need a
it depends on the
chaser.
situation. I've had ones where I have addressed it and it hasn't gotten better, and I've had ones where there was no point in addressing it because the person was a liar. I can't stand lies. And so it was just like one of those where I just clocked it, and I was like, I'm done. And unfortunately, or fortunately, whatever, I'm kind of like Jeide. Like, I will wait, especially if you're a good friend, like, I will give you chance after chance. But I'm also one of those, like, when we're done, we're done. Like, we're not revisiting friendships. I don't do breakup and re-breakups. Like, once I get to the point that I'm
Namani,
done,
what's your cutting
like,
point?
I'm done.
What's your limit? Where do you enough is enough, and this friendship has to end?
It depends on the infraction. So it depends on like what the person did, how often. Like I said, it also depends on like, is it something that I just noticed about their character where I'm like, I can't be a part of this? Or is it something where they've done something to hurt me and I've talked to them about it and they continue to do it? And then so like I know for me, it's all about my peace of mind, right? So my done point is like when I'm spending more time thinking about how upset I am by you, by what you've done, what you said, then I spend time thinking about how much I enjoy our friendship. And so when you are now a negative drain on my life, then I'm usually like, all right, time to go.
Mm-hmm. For real. And I want to my answer because I don't want to sound like all crazy stoic or whatnot, but the way that Neymade broke it down is the way that I feel, honestly. You know what I mean? It really depends on the friend, you know, because I take the word friend serious and I'm a person that believes in forgiveness. So it's like, I'm not going to just like cut somebody off just because of one little thing or two little things, a little mistake here, a little slip up here. I get it. Like we growing, we're still learning life. We're still fashioning ourselves into better versions of ourselves. I get it, you know, but to me, it's a certain point where it's like, all right, you're fucking up versus, oh, you don't care. And once I see that you don't care, then I'm putting forth all this energy and caring where you pushing out the energy don't care. It's like, what the fuck, man? I'm not your pop. I'm not your mom. I'm not none of this. Like, we supposed to be a place where we both accountable so that we both can grow in love in what we're connecting to as far as a friendship. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm holding the shit in such a way where it's more back brunt on my shit.
Yeah.
No, I get it. No,
Do you
go
guys
ahead.
think that
Go
it's
ahead,
hard?
Namani.
Oh, go ahead. No, I was gonna say, do you guys think that it's hard sometimes for people to accept that you can forgive them and also want to forget them? Like, I feel like we always think of like forgive and forget, like, oh, you said you're sorry and now I've forgiven you and everything should be cool. But sometimes I feel like you may do something and I will forgive you more so for my peace of mind than necessarily for yours because that drains me. But that doesn't mean that I want you to have a re-entry back into my life. That doesn't mean I still want to mess with you. Like, I want to forgive you and then forget you, you know? But I feel like people have a hard time recognizing that. Like they think like, oh, if you forgive me, then you must want me with you, or if you don't want me with you, you must think negative of me. And it's like, no, I just don't fuck with you. Like,
But
do you? I wish you well. I just
in those
no.
situations, I typically tell them that, like,
Good.
yo, it really isn't like we can't part. We gotta go that way. Like we can't be around each other. Like at that point, you gotta kind of address that. Like
But it doesn't
no,
usually mean you're
no,
still holding animosity,
yeah.
right? Like
Right.
sometimes you're like,
Like you
no,
can
I forgive you.
like
We're
you said,
just
you can forgive and still remember. Like you're going to remember. Like if anybody cross you, you're going to remember that, even if you try to forget. Like, but if it's just too much and you can't maintain that friendship, then yeah, I do feel like a conversation at that point is warranted to the person to be like, all right, yo, this is why. Like, it's no animosity, but it's just I gotta go my way, you gotta go your way. You know, like no love lost, but it's just I can't tolerate this behavior around me. You
Right.
know, like this is my boundary. You know, like, and this is where you drew the line with
yeah.
me. And I'm sorry, but you crossed that line. You crossed that line.
And I want to thank you for bringing that point up too, Neymade. Go a little bit deeper into this, you know what I mean, and just to play devil's, or at least play the perspective of devil's advocate. It's beneficial for people on the other side or the receiving side of that, like who take the forget like back into the life. Look, it's a blessing or when you had access to. I know it sucks. It feels sucky. It fucks with your head to a degree because it's like you really have to sit within the accountability for you to even be able to find a certain level of peace. But I say it's a blessing because, you know, once you found, you know, your peace with that accountability, you learn how to love more effectively for the next relationship. You know, you understand the ways for you to be able to be mindful, to go forward. You know what I'm saying? But that's only when you sit down with accountability. If you got this certain type of bitterness about you where it's like, oh, everybody mess up all the time, you know what I mean? Nobody's perfect. You acting like that. You already missed the point, homie. Already missed the
Yeah.
point.
Well, I mean, I think the word you said, which is huge, is accountability. Like, without accountability, like nothing's going to change. Your apologies mean nothing. Like, the person really has to acknowledge what they did, how they contributed to things for anything to really change, or for you to even think. At least for me to even think about accepting them back into my life, like there has to be that level of accountability. Like, you have to know what you are apologizing for, what you did wrong, and it can't just be, I'm sorry you feel that way, even though that sometimes is the answer, because sometimes you're not sorry about what you did.
Yeah.
Mm,
I know.
mm, that part right there. To add to that part, Neymade, just to add to that gem that you've introduced, you know, that's something that I had to deal with my older brother that did little snake shit. Not even little snake shit. It was some crazy snake shit during my mom's funeral. And after everything was said and done, I remember having a sit down with him, and I was in tears. I
This is
was
the
in
Hunger
rageful
Games.
tears. And
The
so,
money going now too. The
yeah,
motherfucking
it's all
Hunger
love. She
Games
gonna
on
come back
IG
when she
tonight.
ready. Like the floor is honor that accountability. You know, I said to my brother, and I was like, "Look, don't come back into my life until you're well," because he said at one point where that he was with a friend and whatnot, and I remember him saying that he suffered from bipolar disorder, right? And I honor the disabilities or the diseases or whatever respective paths everybody has that, you know, they're living through life with, because we all have ours. However, it's not an excuse for me. You know what I'm saying? If you have that, take control of it. Not to say take control of it, but understand exactly. Don't let this be the reason why you have this merit in which you can just do whatever and then I'm automatically going to take you back as a brother. No, because at this point, I'm not cutting you off and saying fuck you for life. I'm saying don't come back into my life until you're well. Because once I see that you're well, then you've told me that you've taken the steps for you to do self-care. enough for you to love me because now you love you. And if you can't do that, don't fuck with me.
No, that's real, and
don't fuck with
I'm
me.
glad you said that, because I was about to say that. Like, you need the actions with the accountability. The accountability only means but so much without the following actions to prove that they learned and they're remorseful. Like, otherwise, you're just giving me empty words. You know, you're just telling me what I want to hear. You know, but if you don't show me it, then how do I really know, like, what you said sinked in? How do I really know you was really remorseful for what you did? I don't. I'm just, you feeding me empty calories. That's what you're doing.
Right. And don't show
do
it to
for
me
yourself.
for the
Like,
sake
if
of
you're
showing
really
it to
sorry,
me.
like, if you're not sorry, don't be sorry. Like, if we're friends, we gotta agree to disagree. We're not gonna always see eye to eye. Like, friends fight, you know, like, me and my best friend, we fight all the time. Like, you know, like, that's just the way of life, you know, like, but that's how we show love, you know, like, also, you know, us, we argue at times, like, but that's how we show love. Like, we show love by telling each other we love each other, but with your close ones, you're going to fight. You're going to bump heads, you know, like, you're almost like siblings. Like, you can't help but fight each other at some point, but you're sharpening each other's knives at the same time, so.
That African butterfly, you with us?
Okay.
Yes, my phone died, so I had to go grab the tablet.
Got you.
But I'm back. What did I miss?
So basically, we were just flying off of your sentiment, and I introduced the aspect or the angle that I dealt with my brother during the funeral. My brother did a lot of fuck shit, a lot of snake shit, and during the time that he stayed with me to help me grieve in the immediate shock and trauma of it, he was with one of his friends, and I remember him that he so at the end of everything, all the fuck shit that he did, I was in tears. I was in a rage of tears, like rage and tears. And I told him after everything I got off my chest and everything that I identified that he did, that he didn't think that I identified, I was like, yo, don't come back into my life until you're well. And that was a call to accountability for him, because I didn't want to cut him off, because at the end of the day, we still family. I still love him, but I don't want to think that shit speaks so much to the degree that you can fuck around and just do this, that, and the third. Because once again, I don't put in or wasting time. You know what I'm saying? I don't. So if you want this relationship, you have to understand that it's charged with this relationship.
You're going in and out for me right now, Jeide.
Pardon me. So I'm saying that if you want this relationship, basically how I was talking to my brother, there's a charge that comes with it, because I'm not who I was when I was younger. I was massive younger because I was a child, and he was guard. Now I'm the adult and he's the adult. He's an older adult, yes, but we're on different paths. We're on different frequencies, and I don't have the space for anybody for me to be pussyfooting or for me to be backtracking and shit like that to placate. So this is what you want. Get yourself well, my nigga. And when you get yourself well, if you still want this relationship on this end, but I need that accountability. I need you to be able to prove first to yourself that this is serious enough for you to get well, and then you can come back my way, and then we could talk about what we need to talk about, including you actually owning up to the shit that you did.
Yeah. Yeah, accountability is not easy. It's kind of like how everyone, the minute you try to hold anyone in the public eye accountable, everyone's like, oh, cancel culture, cancel. It's not always canceling them. Calling someone out for doing something messed up and holding them accountable isn't the same as canceling. Sometimes you got to call people out.
There's a difference between the two. And we don't really cancel nobody. Like, I don't get the whole cancel culture. Like, we say we cancel somebody, but we don't really cancel somebody. Like, we just give them bad press for a few days and niggas forget about it. Like,
right. Half the time, the people who are calling and complaining about cancel culture aren't even part of the culture to cancel. Like, they're just saying, like, cancel them. Like, you're not even on them. So who are you canceling?
That's too true. But y'all, we rounding off on this hour note right now on this conversation.
Yeah,
Once again,
that's why I be
That's
saying
true.
like these don't just be
that
flying.
it do. The African Butterfly, thank you so much for joining us. Betty Boop, thank you so much for joining us. But before we're out, Betty Boop, you can right now, but doesn't exclude you from adding to the comments. You dig what I'm saying? So for everybody that's in here, that African Butterfly, Betty Boop, Dash, once again, as tradition, what's one thing that you would like to leave on the table as a lasting thought? That African Butterfly, let's start with you.
My lasting thought is to keep your peace at the frontmost, like, and don't let anybody disturb that, whether they're an old friend, because those can be the hardest to break friendship with. But you grow and you change and your mindset change, and you may not mesh with those people forever, but that doesn't mean that they're bad or you're bad. You're just not on the same wavelength anymore. So keep your peace, and if you find being with someone drains your energy or disrupts your peace, keep track of that. And if it happens often, then maybe you need to let that friendship go.
Right.
Well said. Well said. I want to swing it to you, Dash, but I want to swing it first to Betty Boop. Betty Boop, what's that lasting thought that you would like to leave on the table as far as this conversation? And while you're typing it out, Dash, what's the lasting thought that you would like to leave
pretty
on this
much summed up
conversation?
everything perfectly. I can't really do much but put a cherry on top of that by just saying, you know what? Tonight, everybody, just listen to TLC. What about your friends for this episode? I would sing for y'all, but I ain't got the singing voice tonight.
I dig on it. And Betty Boop said, let it flow and be natural. Doesn't mean you can't be hurt. Wise words.
What about you, Jeide?
Wise. Gonna be, that's I feel you. My last in the same, little different. Respect yourself. Yeah. Over. I'm gonna leave that. So if you have a friendship, if you have a relationship, a connection in which that person cannot respect you, there's something inconsistent being done here that needs to be adjusted,
Also, we got to shout out our sponsor, T-Shirt Mercenary, for the T-shirts, also subscribe.
Very fly, very fly. Oh, I do have one more final word. I have one more final word.
Okay.
If all else fails, just tell the people you're not begging for friendships, because that's what Jeide said to say, and it works. Like, don't even try. Just say I'm not begging for
Everybody,
friendships.
please subscribe to the YouTube channel, Positive Vibes Maybe. We'll see you all Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern. This is Neymade, a.k.a. the African Butterfly. Please follow and subscribe to her YouTube channel as well. Show her love to her IG page and all her endeavors. This is Jeide, the Prince, and I'm Dash. And Betty Boo, yes. Definitely. And, enjoy your night. This has been Positive Vibes Maybe.
Hey everybody, my name is Neymade, here on my page, That African Butterfly.
Sit by myself, talking to the moon.
Fill up the single turn